Good morning, y'all. I want to share a tip for growing fig trees, whether in pots or in the ground, that is obvious when you've been doing it for a while, but not so obvious when you're a beginner. All right, what we're talking about is feeding your trees. So when I first got into this, I thought all trees needed was water and sunlight, and that would be incorrect. So there are three macronutrients that trees require. That's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, or NPK. So anytime you're looking at a fertilizer, you'll see those three numbers on it. So whether it's like a 10, 10, 10, a 1, 5, 10, whatever the case, that's telling you nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. And so beyond that, you have all the different micronutrients like iron, magnesium, etc. I always forget the one that starts with a B, boron, right? So there's different things that your plants are going to need in order to really thrive. But yeah, if you just have a plant in potting soil, over time, it's going to suck all the nutrients out of that, and you're just going to have depleted soil. And so if you're not feeding those trees with something like an Osmocote, which is a pellet release fertilizer, or even doing liquid fertilizers, your trees are going to run out of growth. And then leaves are fall off, they're just going to die or look really, really, really sad. So you don't want that to happen. So again, using something like Osmocote, I use 14, 14, 14. I'll put for a pot this size, I'm going to put about, a little bit over a half teaspoon in the bottom quarter of the soil, and then mix in another half teaspoon around the edge of the top. And so every time you're hitting that with water, that water's hitting those pellets and it's releasing a little bit of the nutrients in it to make it available for your plant. And so you would do that every year. Like you might even do that twice a year with a lot of these during their growing season. But if your plants are going to be in the ground, it's a little bit of a different story. So when they're in the ground, if you have healthy, active soil, then you really don't need to feed it anything. And I know there's different schools of thought on this, but I really like the regenerative approach where you make sure that the soil is alive. So you have all these aerobic microbes in there and beneficial fungi. And so it's kind of a cooler morning. We're starting to get some relief from the really hot weather. Might pick back up later this week here in Texas. But if you look down here, you actually see little mushrooms popping up, and they'll fall over by the time the sun really comes out. But that's a great sign that we have healthy, active soil here. And I haven't fed this tree anything, right? It's just been put into improved soil where I did an inoculation of sugar water to feed the aerobic microbes after broad forking and adding organic material. But you can see that this thing has lots of green growth all over it. And again, this tallest trunk here was completely grown after putting it in the soil. This was not original to the plant when I put it down.